Michael Burry, They All Hate Me. The famed Big Short investor Michael Burry has placed a $534 million bet against Elon Musk's electric car maker Tesla, and also Michael Burry slams virus lockdowns and controversial tweet storm. Today we are going to talk all about Michael Burry's stance about Tesla and COVID, also why people hate Michael Burry. So watch the video till the end, because today's video is going to be the bomb. Welcome to Michael Burry Secrets, your daily dose of Michael Burry. If you're interested in everything around Burry, this is the place for you. Subscribe if you want to stay updated with all the Michael Burry secrets, predictions, and stay one step ahead in the financial world. Watch the video till the end, and make sure to hit the like button if you want to be a millionaire within the next 3 years. Don't forget to enable all notifications to join our weekly cash giveaway in the comments. Now let's get to our topic. The famed Big Short investor Michael Burry has placed a $534 million bet against Elon Musk's electric car maker, Tesla. His Scion Asset Management was the owner of puts against 800,100 Tesla shares at the end of the first quarter of the financial year, according to a Securities and Exchange Commission filing. He was one of the first investors to call and profit from the subprime mortgage crisis, and was profiled in Michael Lewis's The Big Short about the 2008 housing market crash. He was played by Christian Bale in the 2015 movie version of the book. The details of the puts that Michael Burry has are not included in the filing, just the number of shares they're against. Put options allow investors the right to sell the share at a certain price in the future, known as the strike price. Tesla stock has increased in value by more than 700% in the last year, and hit a record high of $883 per share in January. But the value has dropped over the last few months, with hedge fund managers calling the stock overvalued, and Tesla's stock price closed at $577 per share on Tuesday. The investor has previously made it clear he is short against Tesla stock, and has criticized its selling of green regulatory credits to Fiat Chrysler to generate profits. In January, in a now-deleted tweet, he wrote, "Well, my last Big Short got bigger and bigger too. Enjoy it while it lasts," before deleting it. Mr. Burry has not made any comment on his Tesla puts. Now let's talk about Michael Burry's stance about the COVID lockdown. Michael Burry, the doctor-turned-investor, has taken to Twitter with a controversial message. Lockdowns intended to contain the coronavirus pandemic are worse than the disease itself. Government-directed shutdowns in the U.S., which led to millions of job losses and may trigger one of the country's deepest-ever economic contractions, aren't necessary to contain the epidemic, and have disproportionately hurt low-income families and minorities, Burry argued in a series of tweets over the past 2 weeks. He also said some controversial treatments for COVID-19, such as the malaria drug hydroxychloroquine, should be made more widely available. Burry earned his MD at the Vanderbilt University School of Medicine, but decided to become a professional investor after making hugely profitable bets in the stock market. He shot to fame after his hedge fund's bearish mortgage wagers were chronicled in The Big Short, an Oscar-winning movie based on the best-selling book by Michael Lewis. Although Burry has mostly kept a low profile since then, he started sharing his views more widely last year to warn of a central bank-fueled bubble in passive investment products. He's now focusing on the outbreak that has shuttered economics, killed almost 75,000 people worldwide, and changed how millions of people live and work. Burry, whose utterances are closely watched by the financial community, began tweeting on March 23rd, describing his handle as the real personal account of the real weird one from the book and movie, etc. He said he began speaking out because of how people were suffering from measures taken to contain the pandemic. Unconscionable is how he described job losses in the U.S., which have caused a once unthinkable 10 million people to apply for unemployment benefits in the past 2 weeks. He confirmed the authenticity of his tweets in an email interview with BNN Bloomberg. Burry has taken on medical policymakers in tweets regarding the illness itself, saying coronavirus infections can be managed through common-sense measures like increased hand washing and broader testing, without forcing everyone to stay at home. He's also advocating for wider use of chloroquine and hydroxychloroquine to treat those who are infected. U.S. President Donald Trump has called the latter drug a game changer in the fight against COVID-19, but critics in the scientific community have urged caution, saying it isn't fully tested or approved. On Sunday, U.S. Surgeon General Jerome Adams said there had been some accounts that hydroxychloroquine was helping. We feel a little bit better regarding its safety than we do about a completely novel drug, even though this is being used at much higher dosages, he said. Burry has so far refrained from tweeting about his investments. He told Bloomberg News last month that he placed a significant bearish market bet that is working out for now, without providing details, except to say it was a trade of a good size against indexes. He said the pandemic could unwind the passive investment boom, which he has compared to purchases of collateralized debt obligations that fueled the pre-2008 mortgage bubble. While Burry has been mostly critical of the economic and medical measures taken by authorities across the globe, he has also highlighted large economies that haven't seen as much turmoil as the US and Britain. Germany and Japan have been more measured in their responses and offered a model for the rest of the world, Burry said. In a tweet on March 25th, he issued his own prescription for Americans to overcome the crisis. Although Burry has mostly kept a low profile since then, he started sharing his views more widely last year to warn of a central bank-fueled bubble in passive investment products. He's now focusing on the outbreak that has shuttered economies, killed almost 75,000 people worldwide, and changed how millions of people live and work. Universal stay-at-home is the most devastating economic force in modern history, Burry wrote in an email to Bloomberg News. And it is man-made. It very suddenly reverses the gains of underprivileged groups, kills and creates drug addicts, beats and terrorizes women and children in violent, now jobless households, and more. It bleeds deep anguish and suicide. Burry, whose utterances are closely watched by the financial community, began tweeting on March 23rd, describing his handle as the real personal account of the real weird one from the book and movie, etc. He said he began speaking out because of how people were suffering from measures taken to contain the pandemic. Unconscionable is how he described job losses in the US, which have caused a once unthinkable 10 million people to apply for unemployment benefits in the past 2 weeks. Burry has taken on medical policymakers in tweets regarding the illness itself, saying coronavirus infections can be managed through common sense measures like increased hand washing and broader testing, without forcing everyone to stay home. Well, that's it for today's video, guys. Also, we would like to mention that this is not a channel intended specifically to provide financial advice, and we do not ask you to invest in any company. This is merely a channel directed towards bringing educational content to your doorsteps. With that in mind, before you invest in anything, we recommend you do thorough, wide-spectrum research on the topic. And make sure to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. See you next time on Michael Burry Secrets. Bye!